Our story begins in 1519, where we meet the famous conquistador Cortez, who's searching for a legendary golden city. But the real stars of our adventure are two clever con artists named Miguel and Tulio. These guys make their living by tricking people out of their money through rigged gambling games. During one of their scams, a man puts his map up as a bet. Tulio notices something incredible. It's the same map that leads to the legendary city of gold. The bet seems too risky for Tulio, but Miguel convinces him they should play. Amazingly, the gambler's dice show the exact same numbers they need to win. Tulio starts collecting all the gold and that precious map when, oops, his own loaded dice fall out of his pocket. These were the rigged dice that always showed the same winning numbers. When everyone realizes they've been cheated, the crowd goes wild. They demand the city guards arrest these scoundrels. But our clever duo starts fighting each other as a distraction, confusing everyone long enough to make their escape. Their getaway isn't smooth sailing though. They run straight into an angry bull. Now they're being chased by both furious townspeople and a raging bull. In desperation, they hide inside two large barrels. Little do they know, these barrels get loaded onto a ship, and not just any ship, but Cortez's own vessel. When evening comes, they're discovered and dragged out. Cortez himself appears and delivers the bad news: you'll be my slaves from now on. Days pass with no chance of escape, until Miguel notices something important. There's a beautiful horse named Altivo on the ship, and Cortez treats it terribly. Miguel hatches a plan. He tempts Altivo with an apple and asks for help. The intelligent horse actually brings him a key. Miguel and Tulio manage to escape in a small rowboat, but here's the heartwarming part: Altivo jumps overboard to join them because he wants to be with his new friends. The three companions sail across the ocean until the waves carry them to a mysterious island. At first, they're thrilled to reach land, but their excitement quickly turns to fear when they discover human skulls scattered around. They're ready to turn back when Miguel spots something incredible: a massive rock formation that matches exactly what's drawn on their map. Miguel realizes this could be their destiny calling, their chance to find the legendary city of gold. Tulio thinks it's too dangerous and wants to leave, but Miguel convinces him that if they find all that gold, their lives will change forever. Finally, Tulio agrees, and they begin following the map. The journey is treacherous and filled with obstacles, but they don't give up. Eventually, they discover an enormous carved stone structure. Tulio thinks it looks like some kind of lair and scolds Miguel for wasting their time on this wild goose chase. While they're arguing, a girl comes running toward them, clearly fleeing from someone. Soon after, her pursuers arrive and capture all three of them. They're taken through a hidden passage behind a waterfall, and it's revealed that the girl is actually a thief carrying stolen gold objects. Finally, they arrive at their destination, the magnificent golden city of El Dorado. The citizens are amazed to see these two strangers. Word quickly spreads to the city's chief, Tannabach, and to the sinister priest, Tsekelkan, who immediately assumes Miguel and Tulio must be gods. The priest appears before everyone and announces, "I predicted that gods would come to us." Miguel and Tulio quickly realize this is an incredible opportunity. If these people think they're gods, they could get away with anything. They decide to play along with the deception. But there's immediate drama when the priest brings out the girl and declares she must be executed as punishment for her crimes. Tulio, thinking fast, forbids the execution. The priest objects to this command, leading to a heated argument. Just when Miguel and Tulio are losing their tempers, the nearby volcano erupts. Everyone witnesses this coincidence and thinks, they really are gods. We can't anger our deities. The entire population escorts them to the temple with newfound reverence. Alone in the temple, Miguel and Tulio plan how to steal gold from the city. But they're not as alone as they think. The girl, whose name is Chell, overhears everything. Now she knows the truth: they're not gods at all. Chell makes them a deal: "I'll keep your secret, but you have to take me with you when you leave." She's tired of life in El Dorado and craves adventure. The next day, the city throws a grand celebration for their gods. Things take a dark turn when Tsekelkan begins to sacrifice a man in their honor. Miguel and Tulio quickly intervene: "No one will be sacrificed today." Chief Tannabach brings them mountains of gold as gifts. Here's where things get interesting: the citizens throw all this gold into a giant whirlpool. Miguel and Tulio are shocked to see such wealth being discarded. Chell explains that the people believe there's a spirit city at the bottom of the whirlpool where the gods receive their offerings. Chell cleverly suggests to Tannabach that all the gold should be moved to the temple instead, claiming the gods prefer it that way. Meanwhile, Cortez has reached the land and discovered the boat Miguel and Tulio used, along with their footprints. Miguel and Tulio ask Chief Tannabach to build them a boat, claiming they need to return to the other world urgently. Who could refuse the gods? Tannabach agrees immediately. Tulio warns Miguel to be careful until they can leave, showing him paintings that suggest the people might kill them if their true identity is discovered. But Miguel ignores this advice and goes exploring the city. During his wanderings, Miguel learns that priest Sekilkan has been terrorizing the people using the gods' names. Miguel tells the city guards to stop bullying the citizens and starts playing with the local children. He's having so much fun that he genuinely begins to love this place. When Sekilkan sees Miguel playing so casually with the kids, his suspicions grow. Gods shouldn't behave like this. He approaches Tulio and argues, if people stop fearing you, we should make a sacrifice to restore that fear. But Tulio refuses again, which only strengthens the priest's doubts about their divinity. Meanwhile, Cortez is getting closer to the city. Sekilkan decides to test them. If you're really gods, you must play the sacred ball game with us. Tulio panics, knowing they'll be exposed, and tries to convince Miguel they should leave immediately. But Miguel won't listen, so they're forced to accept the challenge. The ball game is incredibly difficult, and they're losing terribly. Just when all seems lost, Chell has a brilliant idea. She puts her pet armadillo in place of the ball and tells them to use it to win. The armadillo's natural movements help them turn the game around completely. After their victory, Sekilkan announces they must sacrifice the losing team according to tradition. Miguel explodes with anger and banishes the priest from the city. During their argument, the priest notices that Miguel's head is bleeding from the game. This is his proof, gods can't bleed. The priest returns to his temple and declares, the time has come to awaken the jaguar. Meanwhile, the boat is ready, but Miguel doesn't want to leave. He's fallen in love with El Dorado. Chief Tannenbach notices this and tells Miguel, our doors are always open to you both. It's clear the wise chief has figured out they're not really gods. On the romantic front, Tulio and Chell have grown close and confess their feelings for each other. When Miguel sees this, he feels hurt and jealous, thinking he's lost his best friend to someone else. The priest performs a dark ritual, sacrificing a citizen to gain power, then attacks the city with a giant stone jaguar brought to life. Chell sees the danger and shouts, we need to get out of here. All three flee as the massive jaguar pursues them. The jaguar catches Chell, but Miguel and Tulio work together to rescue her by distracting the beast. They end up running toward the volcano, but even the fire can't harm this magical creature. The priest commands that Miguel and Tulio be thrown into the giant whirlpool, but in the struggle, he falls in with his own jaguar creation. The rushing water carries the priest out of the city, where he encounters Cortez. The priest mistakes the conquistador for a god, while Cortez notices the gold in the priest's ears. Miguel announces to the citizens that he wants to stay in El Dorado because he's grown to love it so much. This breaks Tulio's heart, but he's too hurt to argue and plans to leave with Chell. The next day, a messenger runs to them with urgent news. Smoke has been spotted in the distance. He reports that Sekilkan is approaching with a group of armed men. Tulio realizes this must be Cortez and his conquistadors. He tells Chief Tannenbach to prepare the soldiers for battle, but Miguel points out they don't have enough weapons to fight the Spanish. Then Tulio has a desperate idea. If we crash our boat into those stone pillars in the waterfall area, we can block the entrance forever. But we'll need a strong current to build up enough force. Chief Tannenbach has the solution. He orders his people to push a giant statue into the water, which will create the powerful current they need. Miguel and Tulio get into the boat and sail toward the pillars, but disaster strikes when their mast suddenly breaks. Miguel sees from a distance that the falling statue might crush them. Without hesitation, he rides Altivo at full speed to help them fix the mast. Tulio pleads, you have to go back. If you stay on this boat, you'll never be able to return to the city. Miguel's response is heartbreaking. I can't live in that city without you. The boat speeds forward and crashes into the pillars, sealing El Dorado forever. The ship is destroyed, and all their gold spills into the water. They look up to see Cortez arriving with Sekilkan. When Cortez finds no way to enter the city, he realizes the priest has been lying. He orders his men, arrest him. We're taking him prisoner. Tulio is devastated because they've lost all the gold, but he doesn't notice that Altivo's horseshoes are made of solid gold. Miguel comforts his friend, and they reconcile, putting aside their recent conflicts. The movie ends with Chell, Miguel, and Tulio setting off on a new adventure together, proving that sometimes the real treasure isn't gold, it's the friendships we make along the way. And that's the complete story of The Road to El Dorado, a tale of friendship, adventure, and discovering that the greatest riches aren't always what we expect to find.